It's April 23rd, 2012. This is the Ron Paul FLIX Daily News Show. I'm your host, Israel Anderson. This morning, Ron Paul was the guest host on CNBC. You can find this video on Ron Paul FLIX, of course. Share this everywhere. This is 45 minutes of Ron Paul being allowed to put all of his policy positions out there on economics, and that is absolutely wonderful. You've got to see this to believe it. It really is absolutely phenomenal. So please get along here and share this everywhere. This is absolutely wonderful. And Politico had this to say: Ron Paul not quitting. Really? Are you kidding? Wow, you could have just asked us. They quoted Ron Paul on the bottom here, who said, "You don't quit because you happen to be behind." You know, when you're in a race, there's always one person ahead and everyone else behind. And sometimes people catch up and take over. Ron Paul is always saying, you never know what's going to happen. No one expected Santorum to suddenly drop out. We don't know what's going to blow up in Mitt Romney's face tomorrow. And we need to be ready to continue to run this race all the way to the end. Let's have a look at what we've got next. Delegate update. Some good news, some not so good news. Let's look at what happened in Minnesota. This is absolutely fantastic. I did a little Saturday video update on this. It was just incredible. We got 20 of the 24 delegates. And this is only in the county conventions. There is state convention to come where more delegates are going to be elected. But absolutely for sure, we are going to walk away with the majority of the delegates from Minnesota. This is absolutely phenomenal news. Now, some not so phenomenal news in Missouri. We're trying to get to the bottom of this. It's not easy, I tell you. Ron Paul on CNBC this morning said we got 20 out of 40 of the delegates from Missouri, sorry. That's not what I could find, though. So this is what I've been able to confirm, and the figures aren't all that great, to be quite honest. Romney got 12, Santorum 7, Ron Paul 4, Newt Gingrich 1. So, you know, Romney didn't get a majority here. He's even. 7, 4, 1 is 12, so he's got 50%, but not 51%. By the way, some people are not sure about unanimous majority plurality. So let me briefly explain that. When a candidate gets all of the votes, we know that's unanimous. He's got 100%. When he has the majority, he's got over 50%. When he has the plurality, it means he has the most, he won the most delegates in that state, but he may not have the most altogether. So for example, in this case here, Romney has the plurality of votes. He won 12, which was greater than anyone else won, but he didn't even win a majority here. He could have. Let's say Paul got 4, and so there was actually 16 versus 12. Well, Romney definitely wouldn't have the majority. He'd have less than 50%, but he would still have the plurality of votes because he would still have more than anybody else got. So that's kind of how that works. You hear these terms being used a lot, and I see comments on my YouTube videos. Not everyone kind of gets what they mean. That's what they mean. So it's pretty simple. In Iowa, now remember, we're not just trying to win delegates. We're trying to take over the GOP. And Iowa is such a classic example of what we've been trying to do. Michelle Bachmann wins the straw poll. She buys a lot of votes. Romney wins the popular vote. Then a recount is done, and Santorum then wins the popular vote. You know, what's going on? But on Fox News today, they had to admit something really amazing. And I don't have the video. You want to know why I don't have the video? Here's why. Because when I embed videos from CNN and MSNBC and Fox, YouTube flags my videos for copyright infringement. Now, this is a news show, which means I am completely entitled, I have full rights under the law, under copyright law, to use those clips in order to present the news. But unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have a way to really respond to them. They have a form that you can fill out, but you know, I'm sure it just goes into a black hole. So that's why I don't have the clip. But on Fox News tonight, they admitted Ron Paul is probably going to win Iowa. This is a really, really big deal. But look at this. In Iowa, we had county conventions over the weekend. We won the chair position. A Ron Paul supporter is now the GOP, or the Iowa GOP state chair. This is huge. But they also have a steering committee as well. The steering committee is responsible for a lot of the direction decisions that the state GOP makes. We just won 15 out of 17 of them. Now we're soon going to have the state conventions, and at the state convention, the delegates will be chosen. That's why Fox admitted tonight, blew my mind, that we are probably going to win Iowa. So sorry, Michelle. Sorry, Romney. Sorry, Santorum. Thank you for all your hard work, but we worked harder, and we are going to win Iowa. This is absolutely fantastic. So not so great news about Missouri, but you know, we're winning in a lot of places. This is really, 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 really exciting. Shenanigans in Arizona, though, nothing again to do with delegates, but this is what happened. Romney went to Arizona, wanted to meet with members of the Republican National Convention Committee, and upon entry, he wanted them to sign a pledge with their name saying they would support Mitt Romney as the GOP nominee. At least 3 prominent members of the RNC refused to sign it, including State Party Chairman AJ Spiker. AJ, thank you. It's great to see people that stand on principle, not party, because at the end of the day, it's principle we have to be standing on. If we just toe the line of the party, we're not really representing the people. So thank you, AJ, for representing the people. What do we got next? What's going on in Congress? Look, this is just a brief update on CISPA. Please go and read the bill if you want to. It's kind of long, not as long as that other crazy bill we had before. Here is where you can contact your Congress credit. Now, you've probably never ever done this before. Right? Probably 2 or 3% of people have ever contacted their senators or representatives. This is a bill that's about to go to the House floor. This has not passed the Senate or the House of Reps. So we need to contact both our representatives and our senators and tell them, vote against this. You need to be very strong on this. We don't want just a few bits and pieces struck down out of this bill before it passes. This is a bill we truly need to be struck down. SOPR and PIPA had such an incredible amount of public support against it. People are now got apathetic. They think, well, we defeated those 2 bills. There's nothing more to do. But now there's CISPA, and people just are not energized. And the people that are introducing these bills, they know this. This is a clever strategy. Introduce a bill, people get excited. They, okay, let's vote the bill down. Sure, we'll chuck it out. And then a couple of months later, what do? They introduce another bill that's even worse than the bills they introduced earlier. And it's like they're laughing at us. They're absolutely laughing at us. So please go to contactingthecongress.org. Go to your state, find your senators and representatives. Make sure you contact only the senators and representatives in your district. If you contact senators and representatives outside of your district, especially outside of your state, they are not going to listen to you. They don't care about you. They have no interest in you whatsoever because they're elected to care for the people in their district, and you're not in their district. So make sure you only contact the people in your district, because otherwise it's futile. In fact, if you call from a number, they all got caller ID. If they see you're from outside of their district, they're probably not even going to answer the phone. They're going to let it go through to voicemail, and they're never going to listen to your voicemail. All right, so don't bother. Only contact representatives in your state. Now, Ron Paul this morning released a Texas Straight Talk where he condemned CISPA. You need to get along and listen to this, about 4.5 minutes long. This is an audio, video only, you know what I mean? I mean, there's no animated video, there's just audio there. But get along and listen to what Ron Paul has to say about CISPA, so you know it's not just me talking about it. Ron Paul is dead set against this, and we need to back him up here and get this bill thrown out. Picture of the day. Now this, you know, I collect a lot of pictures of the day, and I was looking through the Ron Paul FLIX album, and people can add things to the album. You know, anyone who is a member of our Facebook page can add a picture. And somebody added this. And I got to tell you, it kind of took me aback. It's very humbling. So thank you to whoever did this. And also thank you to the person. There was another image like this about a month ago, that somebody was at a rally outside, and they had this huge, huge banner. There was nothing really for perspective to tell how big this was. It looks fairly large. I think these are bricks. So it's probably 9 or 10 feet across. But somebody had this huge Ron Paul sign, even bigger than this from what I can see, and had Ron Paul FLIX on it. And the HuffPo, the Huffington Post, chose that image and put it on the front of the Huffington Post for about 6 or 7 hours. So everybody that visited the HuffPo that day got to see Ron Paul FLIX. So listen, this is amazing. I mean, I see our numbers are going up, and I am so appreciative of the comments that I'm getting on the show. To be honest, if it wasn't for the comments I'm getting, and I'm not hunting for praise, I'm definitely not, but I tell you, so much work goes into doing this that if it wasn't for the fact that you show me so clearly that you really want the show, I probably wouldn't do it. In fact, I tell you what, if I had known how much work this was going to be before I started it, I would not have started it. Seriously, it's a lot of work. But anyway, thank you. Thank you for promoting it. Thank you for sharing our videos. It's amazing when I'm just surfing around and I see on a forum somewhere, somebody has posted a link to Ron Paul FLIX. It just kind of lights up my day. Thank you very, very much. So yeah, third party run. Is Ron Paul going to run third party? Look, everyone's saying Israel, he's not going to run third party. Listen, when you run the math, I think we could actually win a third party. Now, I don't think it's guaranteed by any means. Look at it this way. Less than 50% of the voting public, that's all those who are allowed to vote. Of course, you know, we're all upset about the legal system that stops felons from being able to vote because, you know, you get caught with an ounce of marijuana, you're a felon, you can no longer vote for the rest of your life, and where on earth do you get employed? It's kind of ridiculous, but the voting public, less than half of them actually vote in an election. And most of those people are anarchist-minded people, very libertarian-minded people. A lot of people have given up on the Libertarian Party. People on the left and the right who are just disenfranchised or apathetic and don't care. And this time around, if we were to run third party, I believe we would pick up so many of those people who simply never get out and vote. We're going to pick up even the anarchists, because the anarchists know, you see them, they're so much a part of the Ron Paul movement, because even though they don't believe in having a government at all, they understand its baby steps, and having a Ron Paul government is a huge stepping stone on the way to what they ultimately want, which they'll never get. And I'm not an anarchist, I'm a minarchist, if you want to know. So I believe in an extremely small government. Give us a federal government, 1/1000th the size of the one we've got today, and I'd be happy. Give me a 2% tax rate, and I'd be happy. I'd still consider it theft, but I'd deal with it. We'll also pick up so many people from the Republicans and the Democrats that are so disenfranchised with both Romney, who's maybe the nominee, and Obama, that you consider them. And if Ron Paul did run third party, I mean, I can't read their minds, but I'm almost certain that the Libertarian Party and the Constitutional Party would both, although they might run a candidate, although maybe the Libertarian Party wouldn't run a candidate if Ron Paul was committed to running third party. Because if the Libertarian Party and the Constitutional Party and maybe even the Greens and all these other smaller political parties, I'm sure would all tell their people to vote for Ron Paul, plus the GOP and the Republicans and the Democrats that are disenfranchised, plus all these people that just never ever vote, I think we could do this. I really do. It's far from a guarantee, but is it worth trying? Oh my gosh, of course it is. Will he run? Honestly, I doubt it. I mean, if he doesn't win the nomination, will he run third party? I doubt it. I really do. What I'd like to see is Ron Paul run for governor of Texas and secede from the Union. I'll move back to Texas, where I used to live. Some of you go, really? I used to live in East Texas, in Lindale. So there you go. But in order to prepare for a third-party run after that long rant, I've set up the site ronpaulvolunteer.com because I want us to be ready just in case he does. And so if you haven't signed up on the site, I urge you, please get along here, ronpaulvolunteer.com, and sign up so that we can be ready if he runs third party. He probably won't. I'll admit it. I'll concede that, all right? He probably will not run third party. But if he does, can we at least be ready to support that in the biggest way we possibly can? And I think this will really help us immensely. So that's our show for tonight. Please subscribe, favorite, thumbs up the video, leave a comment. You know, when you do those things, when you subscribe, when you favorite, when you thumbs up, when you comment on the video, you don't just make a few numbers go up. It helps our ranking on YouTube lift higher and higher, and it also helps our Google rank. So if somebody searched for a term where one of our videos was close to that term, Google would push our video up higher because you had done these things. It's really, really important. It's not just vanity, okay? It really can help get the word out by doing these things. Even if you just leave a comment saying, you know, great job, whatever, that's great. They're not interested in what's in the comments, just a number of them. So, and please share it. Share it everywhere you can. It's fantastic when I'm, you know, as I said before, when I'm browsing around that I see on a web forum that's got nothing to do with Ron Paul. I'm a photographer, and I just got the new Canon 5D Mark III, and I just made a lot of people really jealous. When I'm browsing on some photo sites, I've seen links back to Ron Paul FLIX, and they got nothing to do with me. So that's been really fantastic. Thank you so very much for doing that. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook, and if you want to financially support what I'm doing, you can do that right there. Now, the campaign has taken down the Money Bomb ticker. It's no longer there, but they do have a donate button still up the top here. Please donate to the campaign. This here is the ad they want to run in Texas. They're running it there right now. Those of you in Texas, in certain areas at least, will be seeing this ad running. We have a fantastic chance of, oh, I didn't even add it in. You know, I'll bring it tomorrow. There was some fantastic news out of Texas yesterday. Actually, Natalie sent me some information about that, and she just became a delegate, and she's very excited. So I will bring you the news about Texas tomorrow. Forgive me, I totally just went blank on that. But please get along to the campaign site and donate. Listen, even $5 or $10, try to do 10 instead of 5 because they get hit with the credit card fees and it kind of eats into it, you know. So it's like when a couple of people chipped in $1 on our chip in, and thank you so much. I do appreciate it. But PayPal, they steal so much. Well, not stealing, it's their business model, but they do take a lot. So try to limit their credit card fees percentage-wise by giving them as much as you can. So instead of giving them $5 every week, give them $10 every 2 weeks or $20 a month. And that way they will actually get more money in their pocket because they won't be hit with the credit card fees. And they'll be fairly low. Well, I don't know. A political campaign might get stung with some pretty high fees because of the risk that's involved. Anyway, that's it, and that's our show. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Let's get this straight. We're debating between a big spending, debt ceiling raising fiscal liberal, the moon colony guy, a moderate from Massachusetts, or a Texan with a real plan to balance the budget. Get with it, people. Only one candidate will stand up for Texas. Ron Paul isn't playing games. 5 federal bureaucracies gone. $1 trillion cut year 1. Get Washington off your back. Ron Paul. Big, bold Texan.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.